Hey, I'm Keegan. I'm from Student Council, and this year we've been working to make Senior Survivor the best year yet. The Senior Survivor we all know and love is celebrating its 10th anniversary. In the past, Howell High School has raised a total of $184,558 for local charities. To celebrate this incredible accomplishment, we'll be incorporating elements from the past 10 years of Senior Survivor into this year's Survivor.
This year, our goal is larger than any other dollar amount because our goal is to save lives.
Keep watching, because at the end of this video, this year's Senior Survivors are going to be announced.
Don't miss it!
Our student council put a lot of thought into what charity we chose for this year's Senior Survivor. The charity we chose was selected by a landslide vote within our council. We believe this charity will connect with our whole student body. With that being said, this year's charity is the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention, Southeastern Michigan Chapter.
If you received a pin randomly at the beginning of class, please stand up. At this time, there are almost 500 students standing in class surrounding their peers. These students represent the 1 in 5 of us who will deal with mental illness in our lifetime. Many of them going undiagnosed are not having access to treatment. Without awareness, education, and treatment, mental illness can be fatal.
Our hope is that we can, with the help of the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention, bring awareness, education, and prevention to the Howell community. We are rewriting our story and saving lives in our hometown.
This cause is very dear to many Highlanders because even if a lot of us don't suffer from mental illness or suicidal thoughts, we may be close to someone who is affected.
It is important to keep in mind that while this topic is heavy and emotional, the money we raise and the community we build works towards saving the lives of those within our county. 50% of what we raise contributes to research, and the other 50% stays right here in Howell.
As we begin this year's Senior Survivor, we must remember that our progress serves not only to help those the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention helps, but to save the lives of fellow Highlanders. By breaking down the stigma, we can start this conversation in a positive and preventative way.
Suicide is the second leading cause of death among teenagers. On an individual basis, each one of us needs to adjust our perception on what choosing this charity really means. This is something that impacts all of us and millions of other high schoolers. 2/3 of us will be affected by suicide in our lifetime if we do not get this issue under control.
Each year, there are 44,193 Americans that lose their lives to suicide, and for every suicide, there are 25 attempts.
Suicide is also the most underreported cause of death, meaning it's more prevalent than we can even imagine. On average, there are about 121 suicides a day.
For a little bit more information about our charity, here's our president, Emmett Dodd, with a spokesperson from the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention.
Steve, why don't you tell us a little about your charity?
Yeah, so the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention is the nation's largest not-for-profit that's working in suicide prevention and mental health awareness. We're a national 501c3, but we have a local Michigan chapter here, and we're working with a senior survivor this year at Howell to be able to help those students make a local impact here and have a lasting effect long after they're gone in the community in the issue of suicide prevention and mental health awareness.
Great. Why do you feel like there's a lack of awareness for this topic?
It's kind of a hard topic to talk about. There's a lot of myths and half-truths in the issue. People don't really see it as an illness that it is. It's just as big of an illness as cancer or diabetes or heart diseases. And no one chooses this issue to have, but they have to deal with it and overcome it. And so it's something that people aren't usually armed and prepared to deal with when it comes into their life, and so it takes them by surprise. Education is the biggest key of it, and education is prevention. And so the more that we educate the public and the community, the less of an issue it'll be, and the more that we'll be able to talk about it.
How would you respond to a student who made light of mental illness or didn't see the purpose of raising awareness for suicide prevention?
Yeah, it's for a lot of people, if they don't understand something, they don't really see the importance of it. And so, again, mental illness is a disease and an illness just as if cancer was. And so when we talk about it in mainstream media and a lot of movies, it gets a really bad rep. And what we're trying to make a difference in the story that's told about mental illness and the way that we view our patients and view our survivors and view those who overcome an obstacle and a barrier. And so we no longer say the word committed when we refer to suicide. And so we want to use plain English. Just like someone died from cancer, or they died from a heart attack, someone can die by suicide. And so, they don't commit to having diabetes, or they didn't commit a crime when they died by suicide, because that is from an age where it was illegal to take your own life, because again, they didn't understand the disease. And that's what we're changing today, is we're changing how the world sees mental health awareness and suicide prevention, and the fact that this is something that we all have to deal with as a national health issue.
So this year we have a goal of raising $60,000. How will the money we raise during the Week of Senior Survivor benefit our student body?
Yeah, so all that money that you guys are raising is dealing with the issue head on. So as a community, you're not sitting back and letting this issue take over. You're dealing with it head on, and you're giving resources to those that might need it. That money can be put to education and training and support groups for those that have dealt with the issue of mental health and suicide. It also allows you guys to give those in the community a platform to have their voices heard, to receive the treatment that they need. You guys can be the bridge and the connector for those suffering from a mental illness to get help and be a productive and functioning person. And we have a Howell High student here who's brave enough to rewrite the mental health story by telling her own.
Hi, my name's Elise Boyd. I'm a senior here at Howell High School. This charity means a lot to me because I'm a suicide survivor and I battle with depression. Starting in 7th grade, there was a lot going on in my family that I couldn't understand. I was a gymnast at the time and I started to skip practice. I also was napping up to 4 hours a day and avoiding my friends and family. What saved me was my dog. One night I was planning to take my own life and I left the room for just a couple of minutes. When I came back, she had destroyed my plan and my method, but in the process saved me, and I can never thank her enough. What really helped me was the support of my family and friends and finding a counselor who helped me. At first, I didn't want to talk to anybody about anything because I thought I was different. But in reality, it helped a lot to talk to someone. Being told I was normal when I felt like a complete outcast was so comforting. Since I found my comforts in life, I've been doing a lot better. Currently, I'm a senior in high school but take all college courses. I'm a full-time waitress and I enjoy the simple things in life. I want to assure you that if you don't think it can get better, it can. And I'm living proof.
Thanks for sharing your story, Elise. Now who's ready to meet our new senior survivors?